As the sound of the guitar being played by the very one and only Billy Monama, who is joining us on the Urban Jazz Experience to chat about this passionate thing that he's on about, documenting the history and the legacy of the guitar sound in this country. This is a track called Soweto Highway, taken off his album, which is simply called Rebounds. The only album, I don't know why it's the only album he's played and released with other musicians. Hello, Billy.
Hello, Nothemba. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You're busy writing books. We want the music here. When is the next album coming out?
I know. I will next year.
Next year. You're working on something.
Yes. The material is available. I got material. But this year I wanna release material that I think is important for the country and for the globe.
Okay. Let's talk about this important material that you're talking about. I've been going on about you being passionate about, documenting the history and the legacy and, of course, the culture of the South African guitar. Are you even able to introduce it in a phrase or a sentence or a paragraph as to what is the South African guitar sound?
Okay. First, I think I need to greet also the listeners there at home. Thank you so much for staying with us and for tuning in. And, guitar in South Africa is very, is a very important instrument because when you hear Maskanda music, when you listen to Chitsonga, when you listen to jazz, it identifies different cultural, music
influences. Yes.
Yeah, yes. So it came here. It came scared. It came here with the ship. With the settlers, and we did not have a guitar, and it was introduced to us, and there were giants who have put a shape and a map on the guitar. I mean, from the musicians from as early as 1920s, because then the repertoire it was introduced via gramophones by Hugh Tracy, and Eric Gallo, Gallo Records. Then they started playing LPs, Then the jazz sound was influenced there. There were the first guitar players who recorded, that the first Maskanda guitar player before the general the jazz musicians from the George Sibanda and Josiah Haddad. If I can go with the list, it's too long, But
I can imagine because, like I was saying, when you try and list, the South African guitarists that we know or have heard in the different music styles and situations, it's quite long. But maybe before we even get to even names, why are you so passionate about this? Because this is something that you're not just starting now. It's been something that's been a sort of a lifetime project for you. Just mapping out the history of the South African guitar playing.
Yes, I'm quite emotional, thinking about, the journey, reflecting where I come from with this, When I was a student, I was given an assignment to go and research about South African guitar, and I went all the libraries in Johannesburg. I couldn't find a book that speaks in depth about South African guitar, but I did not understand why it's easy for me to find information about West Montgomery. It's easy for me to find information about Barney Castle, Kenny Barrell, all those giants. The material is so accessible. So now I'm bringing the authentic South African guitar material accessible to South Africans. So now I started in 2013. I remember in 2013 I was wondering and looking for other guitars because I will read. Back then we used to buy CDs, and in the CDs I will see in the CDs there will be like on the liner notes.
On the liner notes, yes.
Yes, on the liner notes they will mention Lucky Ranku, and I was like, who is this Lucky Ranku? Then and then I got to find that there was Malombo Philip Tabane before Lucky Ranku. Then I got interested, to find out. And one other thing is that this kind of repertoire, it is not included in the music schools because the music teachers themselves, they don't know how to play that African guitar because they were trained in a European style of syllabus.
Yes.
So now the schools are not teaching it, and even youngsters. I'm a youngster too, so the youngsters, they don't play this music because they are concentrating on the style that speaks to the commercial effort. Yes. So someone had to do it, and when I did them, also I was touring. I stayed in Norway, France, and people there, they want to know. They were asking me, Bill, so what is the traditional South African guitar? Listen, I was so embarrassed because I couldn't give in depth, but because they were trained classically, you can't tell them about the jazz Bach and the Huven, and the list is endless. Yes.
And now, how have you decided to approach it for this project?
Yes.
Because it's a long list of guitarists, and there's so many different styles and techniques that these individual guitarists use. And I don't even know in your music language or guitar language how you even describe these. So how's your approach?
My approach, I did not know who to go to, and then I realized I read a book of Gwen Ansel. And I'm like, okay, this lady, she's very, very smart in writing. And then I made an appointment with Gwen Ansel. We sat there. It was 2013 July. I still remember. It was winter, and we sat down. Gwen Ansel, she laughed at me. It's like, Billy, you want to write a book? And I said, yes, I want to write a book. I said, I want to write a book. I did not know where to start. And believe me, I don't have like higher education, the masters and doctorate and all that. I'm just a guitar player who's fascinated by South African guitar. Then just going to say you need to start by research. How far have you researched? And then it was where I started researching. Then I went to different places. I went to KwaZulu-Natal. I met the guys there who play Maskanda music. They taught me how to tune it. Then I went to Guyana. I met the Chitonga people who played Chitonga. I met all different kind of musicians, who were there during the time.
And so, okay. And so, how far are you with the book, or what? Because I know you're writing a book. You're also doing workshops. This is why I'm asking. How are you approaching? Because I know you tried to teach me guitar the other day, the last time I saw you, and I was a mess. So for anyone who wants to learn the guitar or a particular style. So how are you actually approaching, educating us and making us more knowledgeable about, the history of the South African guitar sound?
Okay, so what happened is that after the research, then I put together the material, down on a manuscript. So right now with the publisher, today I was talking to the editor. So we are going through the manuscript, chapter by chapter.
Okay.
So we are getting there. I can say in January, the second week of January, we'll be toasting. And, we'll be having those beautiful glasses to say cheers. So we are at the stage of editorial, and the thing is that is a tutorial. It's a tutorial book. So now,
okay. That's what I wanted to get at. Yeah.
Yes, it's a tutorial book. It's not because there are so many books that they speak about South African history, but this one is different because it has the musical notation of the guitar, and it has the biographies of those groundbreaking guitar players of the different sub-styles of South African music.
Lovely. Let's listen to one of them who you are featuring in this project, and maybe just introduce his style or what you researched or found out about Alan Kwela. Tell me.
Oh,
I'm listening.
I thought you would have played music. Oh,
okay. Let me play it first, so that but no, the thing is, I want you to talk about it first, so that people then listen out to for these elements that you're going to describe about his technique and his style, or whatever it is you have to say about it.
So Alan Kwela, he was penny whistle player, and most of the guitar players, they were from KwaZulu-Natal, and he was highly influenced by jazz music. He played Kwela guitar in the 50s. He played Kwela guitars. He recorded with Kwela musicians of that time, and he moved from Kwela to the jazz sound of West Montgomery. So he's a big fan of West Montgomery. When I listen to Alan Kwela, I can hear so much of influences of West Montgomery.
Okay, let's listen to him. Even though he's featuring Sibongile Khumalo on the vocals. 10 around, Alan Kwela. It's the music of Alan Kwela on the Urban Jazz Experience, featuring Sibongile Khumalo on vocals, taken off his album called 7 Days Ago. And of course, you can hear his distinct guitar sound, which is so different from everybody else. And I'm chatting to Billy Monama, who's talking about documenting this kind of music, the guitar sounds. And Billy, welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, as I'm listening to this, that it's one instrument, but my goodness, you can get all sorts of sounds coming out of it when they are played by a different person.
Yeah.
Where now, how do you get your own voice, so to speak, your guitar voice? Not to sound like Alan Kwela or Philip Tabane or anybody else. How does anyone do that?
It's what you eat, what you listen, what you're a reflection of what you consume. So I grew up listening to Alan Kwela, for example, because back then the radio used to play this music not only on Sunday, like jazz. It was in front of us. Like I listened to Alan Kwela. I listened to different kind of guitar player, rhythm guitar, and I played in different setup like jazz bands, traditional jazz, and gospel, and R&B, and I play hip hop as well. So now my playing is influenced by all this kind of music that I grew up listening and also playing.
Yeah, okay. No, I like the way you put it. It's all about what you eat.
Yes.
What you feed yourself.
Yes.
And that's the outcome of how you play, I guess, and finding your own voice. Someone else that you say you discovered in your research is Enoch Tabete. Tell me about Enoch.
Enoch Tabete, when I was writing his biography, I only had one sentence. It took me months and months to get information from him. About him, because many people who were there during that time, it's either they are dead or they have they can't remember in detail. So Enoch Tabete, he was also from KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, there's something about KZN and the guitar, no?
Yes. They say that, according to history, they say that the guitars, they were less there during when there was war between the Zulus and the British.
The British left the guitars and ran back home.
Yes, they say so.
Okay.
I'm just quoting an author. So,
okay.
So Enoch Tabete, then he was one of the versatile guitarists. He used to play a Hawaiian guitar as well. Rob Ellingham said that if there was any record whereby you hear a Hawaiian guitar, it would be Enoch Tabete. Enoch Tabete, he was a versatile, and also he played mbaqanga as well, and he could play other styles like maskanda. So now he played with the Miriam Makeba, and the Dolly Ratebe, those music, because he was born in the 1920s. He was born in 1926. So now before Enoch, there was a guitar player by the name of General Duze. So General Duze is the king of the jazz guitar.
Wow.
General Duze is the accomplished jazz guitar of the 1950s. He's the one who gave the jazz guitar a sound.
Okay.
Yes.
And Enoch Tabete. Let's listen to Enoch Tabete. And
yes.
As you said, he played the Hawaiian guitar. He's with his band called the Hawaiian Cadets.
Yes.
And doing a track called East Spring. It is the Urban Jazz Experience on Metro FM. We are in conversation with Billy Monama. In the background, you're hearing the sounds, guitar sounds for that matter, of Enoch Tabete, with the Hawaiian Cadets doing a track called East Springs. Billy, I wish we had more time because this story is it's a long story, which especially because it's going to be in a book. But there's some things that you're doing and you're recording and posting for as workshops. Telling me about that.
Yes, because my vision, to say my quest is to have the schools to have a South African repertoire, and I'm not saying that there should not be, European repertoire, but it should balance, because I know so many people, they still want to research. I mean, no one knows about the Enoch Tabete.
Exactly.
So, and no one knows about Enoch Tabete. That is why this book, I'm going to call it Introduction to South African Guitar Style.
I'm hoping, and I'm sure you are hoping, that it's going to be introduced in the curriculum at music schools and universities.
Yes, I do have a hope, because every time when I do the workshops, the students, they ask me questions, so that is why I decided to write a book so that they have all the answers in the book, because everyone's like, they want to come to me, want to learn how to play all these styles of music, and I can't have everyone, in my own house, and I can open a school, at the same time. So now, how I'm doing this, by doing the workshops, at least, if I just have like 3-day workshops of different schools, I've done something than sitting at home.
Yes.
Yes.
So these are now online workshops.
Now, yes, thank you so much. So now, what's happening now? I'm publishing. I'm releasing the tutorial videos.
Okay.
So now I'm in the studio. I'm breaking down each and everything note to note. It's like other videos. They are like 1 hour, 30 minutes. Others they are 45 minutes. So if you go on my website, www.bilimonama.co.za, you will see tutorials. So in that tutorial, when you click there, you subscribe, but you're gonna pay, So then
yes, because your sweat and tears, maybe probably sometimes must be paid for.
Yes. people but how can Takoka, yes, it's like 399,
Okay.
So it's like a subscription, like when you're watching, like, for example, you're watching something on, DSTV, you pay the subscription, and then I'm going to upload 8 sub-styles from African jazz, Maskanda, Mbaqanga, Kwela, Chitsonga, and each and every sub-style, each and every style, it contains sub-styles. So we're gonna break it down according to the, evolution of the guitar. So people, they will have, in the interim, because the book is not yet published, they will reference to the videos.
Wow. But this is incredible because clearly we are sitting on such a rich heritage and, we need to preserve it. And a lot of the people who probably know a lot of information and the origins and the history, as you said, some are gone, some, have passed on, some don't remember. And thank God, because of you now, these skills and memories are going to be preserved because of the great work that we are doing, which we ultimately appreciate.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate those warm words of support, because what you earlier on in the interview, you asked me when I'm going to release an album. So this is what I'm releasing.
Okay, which is fantastic. We almost should have stopped long ago, but I'm just pushing this. But I just have one more song to play, and I just want you to also just talk about the track that Miriam Makeba does with the Skylax, called Kudala Ngigwemele. What is it about the guitar sound in this one that you need to highlight, that is part of your project?
That guitar was recorded by General Duze.
Ah, that's the one.
So you see, just a short one. Enoch Taveches, General Duze, Stanford Tsiu, those Almond, there was a guitar player by the name of Almond Memela. Almond Memela, those 4 guitar players, they were the kings of African jazz in the 1950s. Before the jazz guitar developed. So when you talk about the development of jazz, then now it's during the BC time, Black consciousness. That's when Malombo Taban comes in, the Johnny Foris, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to come with it nicely. It's going to be beautiful.
No, I'm sure it will. Oh, wow. And I'm just thinking about even other guitarists just on the continent, and some who've really spent a lot of their time even in this country. For instance, like the late Obo Oliver Mdakuti. There's so many stories, around him as well. Bo Ali Fakaturi, maybe even his guitar sound. So your project can grow further than just the South African sound guitar into the continent.
Absolutely, that's what we are looking for, into. But we want to start here at home first.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do volume 1. We're going to do volume 2 because because I'm starting. My documentation starts from 1930s until 1980. So now, late 1980. So now on the second volume, we're going to do from 1980 until Kuzubiyovala 2000.
2000. Fantastic stuff, and all the best. And when people want to know more information, can they just follow you on social media, or might they go to the website? Or some people might need to contact you directly. Is an email or something? They might even have information that will help in your research.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Billy Monama. Everywhere. I don't have any other thing.
Yeah.
They can go on Instagram, Twitter. They can send me messages, and if they want to, learn, there's a tutorial that I've prepared for them on my website, www.billymonama.co.za. They will have everything, all the information there.
Ah, that's lovely stuff. Thank you so much, Billy. So I'm going to play you out with that Miriam Makeba in the Skylax song called Kudala Ngigumele. I've been waiting for you for long.